Okay, so we're doing horizontal today because maybe this will be a longer video because there's not a whole lot on these things, and these are really stupid turbos. They're actually not that bad. I was supposed to have done this one quite some time ago, and I haven't. So sometimes, never times, always get stuck. But the good thing is Garrett went back to this design turbo charger, and I prefer this style over the V2S and the other K31 Puma job thing. So I'm going to ask yourself, how do you get this thing apart? Because you can't take it apart because the vane cage is in the way, and there's no nuts or anything on the vane cage. Well, the vane cage is press fit, and this one is broken, and they have a few spots where you can put a chisel or a pick or whatever. So that's what we're going to do. This one's broken, so we're not too concerned about saving it. That one's like the pins though. Crazy part is this turbo's not even here to get a new actuator. Because it's dirty. Yes, everything looks great, I think. I'll say this idea is pretty cool. Like a giant rings to get out the big hole for the housing, rust, yada yada yada. Machining for performance is probably sucky because I don't know what this is made out of. And each time this fails, if you have a performance variant, you have to remachine this whole thing. So put an S300 on your 6.7. You'd be way better off. Or I'll see you at some point. Someone will. Okay, I'm gonna clamp these wheels and mark them before taking it apart so I can check it on the balancer where it was and how it's been surviving, because turbocharger wise, I'm pretty sure it's perfectly fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it turboing. Just gonna go in here, check the ring gaps, clean all the lands, make sure the bearing set's good. If it's not good, replace it. Replace what's bad, put new seals in it, balance it down lower. I think that's everything. I'll say this is redundant and terribly annoying. The whole no nut thing. I don't know whose purpose this serves, but if anybody is getting this far into your product, just let them take it apart. Clearly you will know that they took it apart. So, yeah, I don't know what to do. Like, just put a nut on it so techs can service this thing. Like, I think that's the silliest thing in the world. Tamper proof. How about y'all just dumb? Oh well, nothing the hammer can't fix. I have the putting on there at least one side because I don't got pins in the extruder to locate the compressor so they can tighten from the other side. Cool stuff. What a heavy piece of junk. If anyone's curious, these things are called hubless, which doesn't mean they don't have a hub, it just means the hub's at the very bottom. There are reasons for this that are good and bad. So you have a really short hold on. you have a really short shaft. Good. Not a lot of bending moment. You have a full thickness hub. You have a lot of strength in the hub. The drawbacks are the machine parts have to be machined pretty freaking awesome. So from a manufacturing standpoint, it becomes more difficult. Nextly, nextly, I think that's the word. Longer shafts are more stable. Longer shafts are more stable shafts. They tend to run truer to one another. They dampen oscillations and vibrations better because the frequency is different. I believe the point A to point B for bearing to bearing distance is longer, so you have more stability in the shaft and bearing system. That being said, it wants to be a more bendy system, so then sometimes you have to make the shaft thicker to accommodate for that. Yada yada. So there is no like this is the way type of deal. Oh, I forget. These things put the piston ring on the outside, and it sits in this back plate. These things are like kind of cool and kind of stupid at the same time, but they're definitely better than the 6.4 turbos. So I'm gonna take that. I will take that. 3-pad 270 system. It's kind of neat now that I understand the bearing systems a little better. These have a built-in reservoir per pad, which I'm pretty sure is the issue the S300s, the S400s have, or just any 270 bearing that feeds directly to the pads. The moment I started to go, I did this a while ago, but I keep doing it, I keep reiterating it upon my thinking all the time, is I need to stop thinking that the OEM is stupid and that I know better. Because there's reasons that they do things. And if you study the reasons that they do things, you learn a lot more. So that's pretty cool, what is actually going on there. Okay, so the only thing left to do, I don't think I have deep torque bolts, but I don't think this needs to necessarily come apart. Clean correctly. That's kind of crazy if they want like a long reach torques. The one spot they actually save material for once, and they should just something easier with different. I need to pull this guy out, and this top plug out. Those are all easy to do. I'm gonna take these all apart. You'll take this apart, grab it with a set of smaller channel locks, wiggle, pull it out. This guy here has an M6, so take this out and then put an M6 bolt in here, and then you can put a screwdriver underneath each side, pop that out, and then the slider is steel, it's not aluminum. I'm pretty sure you should be able to grab it with a magnet. I think that's everything. I gotta clean this thing. It looks fine. Great. Everything it's supposed to have oil in it. It has oil in it. So, yeah. I'll be back in a little bit.